Hello and welcome to Imagine Nigeria. My name is Dr. John Abraham Godson, and for 25 years I lived and served in Poland. I served at various levels, from being a district councillor to being deputy mayor of my district to being a city councillor twice and then to being a senator twice. I came back to Nigeria to help in nation building. I want to talk about today the issue of a minimum wage. I've been listening and observing very closely the debate around this. And I want to share with you some of my experience and some of the solutions that has worked in the country where I lived most of my adult life. First of all, I want to say that it is immoral and that it is absolutely not right to be paying people an amount of money that is not enough to take care of the very basic needs of life. I want to say it is immoral for lawmakers to be earning humongous amounts of money as salary while workers are being given just peanuts. And I'm going to propose a solution that I've seen that works. Let me start with the minimum wage in Poland. In 2003, the minimum wage in Poland was about 800 zloty. 800 zloty. And 800 zloty is like the equivalent of about $200. $200. And every year, this minimum wage is actualized based on inflation and economic growth. So whatever is the inflation and whatever is the economic growth, that is what would help in valorizing or updating the minimum wage. So every year, as we can see here, it was valorized, okay? And it went from 800 until what we have today in 2024, which is 4,300 zloty. 4,300 zloty, which is a little over $1,000 a month as minimum wage. Okay. Now in Nigeria, the minimum wage was 18,000, and then it was changed to 30,000. Now think of what has happened over these years. What has been the inflation rate? We've had an average inflation rate of about 22%, over the years. What has been the economic growth? And then these people are still paid 30,000 naira a month. Now, how do you expect someone with a family, a sergeant, for example, is being paid about 64,000 naira? How do you expect such a person, a sergeant in the police, to take care of his family? I think that if we're talking about fighting corruption, we need to give people the amount of take-home pay that will be enough for them to take care of their families. And what I want to propose is that we adopt a similar, it doesn't have to be exactly this, but we adopt a similar system that takes into account the economic growth and inflation, so that every year it will be automatic. All right. NLC doesn't have to come, to begin to negotiate. It will just be automatic. If we agree this year that the minimum wage is, say, 120,000 naira as minimum wage. So next year, if the inflation has been, say, 30% and economic growth, the growth rate was, say, 2.5%, that means that this 120,000 will be updated. We'll add 32.5% to that, and that will be the salary for next year, and that will be a normal thing. I want to encourage our lawmakers. I want to encourage our rulers, those who are in authority, to think about the good of the ordinary people. And now let me give another example as to the salary of members of parliament. The same way, the salaries of members of parliament, senators, is a system that has been set. They earn based on the average salary in the civil service. All right. The based on the average salary in the civil service. Currently, an MP earns the equivalent of an undersecretary of state in the government. That means as the undersecretary of government, his salary is increasing, the MP's salary is increasing. The salary of an MP in Poland is about $4,000. $4,000. That is his take-home salary. Apart from that, he receives this is the parliamentary ID card. All right, parliamentary ID card, and this parliamentary ID card allows you to use public transport. It allows you to use public transport. The government has trains, trams, buses. Once you have this card as a senator or a member of parliament, you can use those free of charge. The Polish airline within Poland, you can use this free of charge. They don't buy them cars. They don't buy them SUVs that they will take home after their tenure. Rather, they have a pool of cars in the parliament that whenever we need a car to go to any place, okay, we can book, and the parliamentary driver will drive us to that place and bring us back. So this avoids wastage. We have a lot of wastage. You buy all those cars, then afterwards they take it and a new parliament comes, you buy another car. That's a lot of wastage. This is supposed to be servant leadership. Another thing that happens is, apart from that $4,000, they get additional $5,000 that they account for. This is for employment of your parliamentary staff, your constituency staff, and so on, paying for your constituency office, newspapers, and so on. All those are there. And that money, you account for it at the end of the year. Any money that was not utilized appropriately would have to be refunded. All right. So this way, things are clear. It's immoral, that a senator or a member of the House of Representatives will be taking more than 30 million home while the minimum wage is 30,000. It's absolutely immoral. And there are other things that is done to help alleviate the problems of the poorest of the poorest in the society. For example, they give them cards if you are come from a large family. If you have at least more than 3 children, that's in Poland. That is not needed in Nigeria. Number one, they give them a card that allows them 50% discount in use of public transport. All right. They also give them, but this also wouldn't apply to Nigeria. If you have at least for every child that you have every month, they pay them a stipend to help them in bringing up their children. Now, these are things done to maintain a level and a standard. And I want to say that when people don't have money, the economy wouldn't grow. It is when people have money that they are able to buy things and the economy will be moving. And of course, we need also to be careful not to go to the other extreme of putting too much money in the hands of people, because that will lead to utter inflation. All right, it will lead to printing of money, and maybe Nigeria will now become like Zimbabwe, where there are trillions of dollars. We don't want that. What I am encouraging you is this: a wise and a systemic solution that you don't have to come back all the time, to negotiate. I learned that a full professor in Nigeria earns 400,000 naira. That is absolutely unacceptable. How can an MP, member of parliament, be earning 30 million a month and you're paying a professor 400,000 naira? That is about $270. That means we do not really value education. What I am encouraging is, let there be a systemic, an overall, a system change that would allow people who work to receive, they are worthy of their wages that they are able to use to take care of their families. There wouldn't be issues of bribery. There wouldn't be issues of, kidnapping and all those. I'm appealing to you. It is possible. If Poland a poor country, poor post-communist country can do it, we too can do it. Why not? Thank you very much.